Van Bloem here for AARP Maryland, and to quote my grandma, I could not be more tickled to be here. I am so excited. Not only do we have a class coming up this Saturday, which is going to be amazing, but I'm going to show you my latest obsession. And this is the perfect lunch, okay? You have to trust me on this. And the thing I like about this is that you can make it and eat it for 3 days, right? And if you are like me, I am so tired of planning and plotting. I kind of just want something that's tasty and yummy and easy all the time. And you're gonna say, why am I watching this? Because she's going to make toast. I know. So let me tell you, I am here in Frederick, Maryland, the greatest town in all of Maryland. Thank you very much. And we have this wonderful coffee shop. And when they opened, their menu for food is very limited. And they put toast on the menu. And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the toast was like $8, $9. I'm like, oh, I could do that at home. Well, let me tell you, they changed my mind on toast because we're not taking that squishy white bread and jamming it in the toaster. No. We are making fancy. And this is the way I'm cooking now, okay? I love it so much. In fact, this is the best part. Last night, my son sent a text out to the family and said, help, I need something awesome to make for dinner for my girlfriend's friends. What should I do? And my daughter and I, at almost the exact same time, said, make toast, because you're gonna do it in a really different way and everybody will think it's crazy. So let me tell you, here's what we're gonna do. Now check this out. I know I have sung the praises, but I go to my local sourdough bakery about every 2 weeks. We go there a lot more than that, but about every 2 weeks, I buy a loaf of their regular sourdough bread. And you could go with whatever you like, but I do have them slice it. And I think I've talked about this before. They have 2 different slicers. I'm such a princess. They have 2 different slicers. They have the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 inch. So I always get them to do the 3/4 inch so that I can just go in, I'll stick a butter knife between and get them apart when they're frozen. And I just do this from when it's frozen. Now here's the thing. This is just a regular sprayer that I load with a decent, not my fanciest olive oil, but a decent one. And I olive oil that bread. Now, if you know anything about Mediterranean diet, of which I'm a huge fan, Mediterranean diet is all about, healthy fats as much as all of the other things. So when I am making one of my silly toasts, I am always using the decent olive oil. And you can go so many ways here. If it was a more beautiful day, I would go outside and grill all of this. But since it's a little, it's cool and who knows if it could rain any minute, I decided I'm just gonna do things right here. So while the toast is doing its toasty thing, and remember, decent amount of olive oil, but you don't have to soak it. You don't wanna soak it, but you want something that's good and has some yummy flavor. I went ahead and pulled out the air fryer. Now, I like the air fryer because everything fits into the dishwasher. That's my favorite part. And I did some sliced eggplant. I love the darn eggplant. And I sliced it, little spray of olive oil, little salt, little pepper, 400 degrees. And I did 15 minutes, and look how beautiful that got. And this is a lot for one person, which is why the 3 days is really good. Then I'm just gonna make like a veggie bruschetta out of the whole thing. And you can tell I'm not Italian at all because I can't say that word well, right? Can't say it like I am. But I am gonna go ahead and I am going to put all of this eggplant. And I like to make it, I don't know, in the summer I tend to go with bigger pieces, bigger chunks. But for right now, since I'm gonna put it on the toast, I want it to be small enough that it's not going to fall off it every time I take a bite. Does that make sense? And you can do this with whatever you like, right? I do love to do this whole veggie thing, but one of my other favorites, because beans, good for the heart, right? One of my other favorites is to do cannellini beans or chickpeas. Sometimes I do the chickpeas with some pickled red onion. I just keep that in my fridge. And I saw at the grocery store the other day that you can buy already pickled onions. That's a fairly recent development that I love. So if you're saying, oh, look at that. If you're saying that you don't want to, spend the time pickling your own, you can get them already done. You could even throw red onion, a slice of red onion, on the grill or in the air fryer. Now, air fryer is going to be a little easier for you, keeping it all together. But on the grill, you definitely want to make sure that you take a skewer, and not just one, but we take 2 skewers and put it up so it's easy to flip over. And whenever you're using those skewers, you know what I'm talking about, right? Those wooden skewers that you get. Whenever you use those, it's really important that you soak them in warm water for a little bit. Yes, you can do cold, but warm goes a little more quickly for you. I took a little bit of red bell pepper and stuck it on here. If you like roasted red pepper, you can buy a jar of that. Go crazy, love it. You can do, gosh, what was I saying? The chickpeas, I do lime, I do, yes, even with the toast. Look at that. This is a zucchini. I love the zucchini. And I'm not like a zucchini girl, you know what I mean? But when I do it this way, I do like it. And I'm gonna do this. The centers here are getting done, but I wanna make sure the whole thing gets toasty roasty. The late great Anne Burrell used to say, brown food is good food. And she's right. So, look at this. My little burner is going so fast today. I can turn that temp down if I want. I'm just pressing it down on the sides. And I will seriously make this for dinner, make this for lunch. I eat the toast for breakfast. I know there's a whole thing with millennials and the avocado toast, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not a millennial thing. Everybody can eat this. And it's so much better than you think. Now, is my son gonna make toast? No, of course not. Because what do we know? But it's something, like, truthfully, I could pull this out. I always have the bread in the freezer. I could pull this out when someone visited, go through my cupboard, and make something that's delicious. Because you just gotta get creative. And the whole trick with doing something like this is the abundance, okay? Because nobody wants just a schmear, right? Nobody. Now, I could do goat cheese and a little jam. They do that at that coffee shop, and it's delicious. But I really like it when it's kind of overflowing and a bit too much. That is my favorite way. I'm gonna pull this guy off. Ooh, he's looking so good. Nice. Now, my husband got a little aggressive with the basil. And he planted it a couple of weeks ago. And I said, babe, we're in Maryland. I think it's a little early. So with that frost that hit last week, you can see he had to really get in there and cut it back. TBD on whether it's going to work or not. I don't know. We'll see. So I just took a little bit of fresh basil, and let me tell you, I don't care where you are, if you're in California or Hawaii, or you're a fellow Marylander, make sure you're securely out of the frost zone, okay? I always think here in Maryland, I always think that we're looking at, Mother's Day. Mother's Day is when I feel like it's okay to plant the things. You know what I mean? And I just go ahead and I am gonna do a little bit of that fresh basil, and I'm gonna do a little splash of olive oil because we love it. And again, healthy fat, but we don't wanna go crazy. And then I have some really good balsamic vinegar. And let me tell you, this stuff is like syrup. Now it's not the balsamic glaze that you're getting, right? Which is where they take that balsamic and they cook it down, and then it turns into a glaze. This is syrupy because it has aged for a minute. And even though I seasoned those vegetables, right, and I did, even though I seasoned those vegetables, we're still gonna taste it, right? Oh, I mean, maybe, holy bananas. And listen, you do not have to buy expensive balsamic. You can buy regular old balsamic. You can do whatever makes your heart happy. For this, now, I'm gonna pull this out, but while I do this, I have a little bit of goat cheese, and I was going back and forth saying goat or burrata. I do love the burrata, but I think I'm having a goat day. I think it's a goat day. And I buy the fresh goat cheese, the Chev. I just pull a little knob off the end of that, and I'll wrap that up and throw it back in the fridge. But I just take it, and this is key on the warm toast. That was even aggressive. That was an aggressive amount of goat cheese. All right, we're gonna pull back. Okay, and I'm telling you, if you have friends pop over, and you should be working to have friends pop over, this is such a good thing to do. Just go through your cupboard, like seriously, keep a can of beans. There are beans that are already seasoned, right? I love those. They're so good. Hang on, I'm gonna wash up. And I did want to say, we have class this Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I made it for dinner last night because it's so darn good. I am making a crispy chicken Caesar salad. Homemade dressing, I do the whole thing. It's so yummy. And it's not fried. And that chicken is shatteringly crisp. It is so good. And I'm gonna do blueberry turnovers, because we are coming up on blueberry season, right? It's coming. Doesn't feel like it today, but it's coming. All right, I'm gonna end up using about half of this. I mean, can you think of a better way to get your veggies in? Holy bananas. This is so good. And do you see what I mean when I say abundant? Do you see what I mean here? Now, if my basil was cooperating more, then I might even do a little extra basil. And I've got, excuse me, my super flaky salt, just a tiny bit, because, excuse me, I like that little crispness when you get those salt crystals. Oh, salt and vinegar and olive oil are such splurges for me. All right, and then I just do a little extra. How good is that? I'm telling you, I'll save that. You can take this vegetable mix. You can throw it in. Here's what you're gonna do. You can make some pasta, save a little of the cooking water, take that pasta, throw in a chunk of goat cheese, throw in the rest of these vegetables, and a good spoonful of pasta water. Now, you might even need a little more pasta water, but it gives you that, lusciousness because of the starch that's in the water. And all of a sudden, bam, you have the perfect pasta. So this falls into my cook once, eat twice kind of scenario, but look at this. And if you want to serve this to people, like you want to make it fancy, get a plate. And I love a really big plate, but whatever I use, I always make sure it looks super full. You could take a whole container of baby arugula, put it on the bottom, fluff it up a little, and then lay these on top. I'm telling you, it looks so great. And then you have that arugula too. You'll be surprised. People put it right on top. And that is how easy that is. I know, 15 minutes to make toast. Crazy, but you gotta trust me. Good bread, good olive oil. The fewer ingredients you have, the better each one needs to be. So, I am hoping I see you on Saturday, 11 a.m. We are gonna have a great time. And you can ask me all the questions you want about my toast. All right? I will see you all on Saturday. Bye.